Hey y'all, hey, what's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I am so glad to have you. But if you are a fellow gold digger, then welcome back because y'all know I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, so y'all, we are doing what I'm calling Wisdom Wednesday. All right. Since I missed Tipsy Tuesday last night because we were celebrating my daughter's birthday. Shout out to her. She turned 18, y'all. Can y'all believe it? I have a grown adult now, a so-called adult, um, already in the family. And she's already tired of adulting. I could have told her that. Like, you're gonna be tired of adulting. But y'all, I couldn't leave y'all hanging for Tipsy Tuesday. So I'm back with what I'm calling Wisdom Wednesday. And we are going to be recapping kind of my 21-day money affirmation challenge. Now, y'all know when I know I'm going to be on for a good little while, I try to do my social media checks. So let me make sure y'all are seeing and hearing me and everything is going good. How has your week been going too? Because usually that's when I'll ask y'all about that as well, just because I have a little bit more time. But let me check a couple of different spots, y'all, and I'm gonna have to fix my camera in just a minute too. All right, let's see. All right, we are good there, it looks like. And let me check one other spot and make sure we are okay. All right, and we are good there as well. So, all right, y'all, let me fix my camera. I'm trying to adjust it, but I don't want it. There we go. That looks better. All right, so today, we are still going to keep it along the lines of like Tipsy Tuesday. I'm still going to be giving you some tips as well. That's why we're calling it Wisdom Wednesday. So I'm still going to be sharing with you some tips. And basically, since the 21-day money affirmation challenge is over, I am definitely going to miss coming live each morning, seeing you guys. But I do want to do a wrap up for the challenge and share with you guys some insights that I've gained as well. If you have not checked out any of the videos, no worries, go ahead and do so. Okay. Now, part of the reason I started the challenge is because I wanted some new money affirmations, or I wanted some more money affirmations for me to say. So I did have some selfish reasons for doing the challenge, was for me just to come up with some more money affirmations. But the other reason I did the challenge as well is because I often run into individuals who may be struggling with their money, struggling with their finances. And I got tired of seeing people struggling when it comes to the ways of their money. So I'm always trying to share with you guys things that can help you. So that was one of the main goals, is for you to level up your money, level up your finances, and help you make smarter money moves as well as smarter financial decisions. I do not claim to know it all or anything like that, but just sharing with you some of the things that have helped for me, or some of the things that I have or I'm planning on doing or trying to incorporate in my everyday life as well. Okay. So our challenge focused on four themes. And that is what I am going to be going over with you today. And I will try to remember to put them in the chat as well. And I have a framework that I'm going to be using. I'm calling it like the W.A.L.L method. So we're going to get into that right here. And I got a bunch of notes, y'all. So I'm going to try to get through this as expeditiously as possible. All right. So the first point, or the first theme that I want to talk about, is number one, is to know your worth. All right. Y'all have heard me talk about this so many times. So I'm always telling you, you need to know your worth. And remember, you are worthy of wealth. Okay. So that's what we are mainly talking about in that first theme. You are worthy of wealth. I'm actually going to put it in the chat. You are worthy of wealth. So I'm going to put know your worth, and that way that'll help me look in the chat and see if I have any comments. Know your worth You are worthy of wealth. All right, so let me put it on the screen here so that it'll be on display. All right. So, because I want you to remember that God blesses you not because you had to do anything. You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to earn his blessings or anything like that. He blesses you because you are his. All right. We talked about this in Psalms 139 and 14, where it says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. So if you are fearfully and wonderfully made, why would he want you to struggle? All right. Why would he want you to struggle if you are fearfully and wonderfully made? All right. And please, 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 this is something else that people struggle with. Y'all, let me I thought I put it on the screen. There we go. This is something else that people struggle with. Your financial situation is not a reflection of your value. All right. I need y'all to get that through your heads. Your financial situation is not a reflection of your value. Just because you might not have a lot of money in your bank account right now, that does not mean that you do not have value. All right. Your value is not predicated upon what's in your wallet. No, God has already said that you are valuable to him. God has already chosen you. That's why he also blesses you. That's also why you don't have to earn his blessings or anything like that. All right. So even when your account is low, your worth is never in question. All right. Please, please remember that. No, and that's why I always harp on y'all. Know your worth and know that you are worthy of wealth. Okay. And when you know that you are worthy of wealth, that allows you to pray boldly. That allows you to ask boldly. But how can you ask boldly of something when you don't even feel worthy of it? If you're feeling unworthy, you're not going to ask boldly. Okay. Now, you can either pray like you're a person who's begging for something, or you can pray as like a person who is the child of the Most High God. All right. Which way are you going to pray? Are you going to pray as if you are a beggar, like you're begging for stuff? Or are you going to pray as if you know that you are a child of God? Okay. How are you going to do it? All right. Either way, there's going to be a difference. Because if you're praying like a person who is begging for stuff, you're going to get crumbs. When people beg, people will be like, here you go. They just want to get you out of their face. But when you pray like a child of God, you get overflow. So remember that. That's why you have to know your worth so that you can ask boldly of the things that God will provide for you. Okay. And then remember, there are scriptures all throughout the Bible that help reinforce that. Like we said, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. But also in Luke 12:7, it says, you are worth more than many sparrows. So remember, act like it. Okay. Please, please, please act like it. So if you have ever felt guilty for wanting more money, it's okay, because you are worthy of wealth. All right. That's a scarcity mindset sometimes when we're feeling like we feel guilty because we want more money, but we are worthy of wealth. All right. God didn't create you in his image for you to live beneath what your inheritance is. He didn't create you so you could live beneath what your inheritance is. So I don't know what money lie you may have believed growing up, but we counsel that lie on today. All right. There are a lot of money lies that we've heard that we might be living by, but we are canceling those lies today. All right. So my prayer for you today, when it comes to your worth, is for God to remind you that you're worthy of wealth and that you the wealth that he has already prepared for you. So just remember that. All right. So that was the first thing that we covered in our affirmation challenge was know your worth, because you are worthy of value. And this is part of what I'm calling the W.A.L.L method. All right. The second thing that we're going to talk about, the A in W.A.L.L, it stands for alignment. And we need to choose alignment over anxiety, y'all. Some of us are real anxious about our finances, real anxious about our money, but we are choosing alignment over anxiety, okay? Because your purpose and your prosperity can coexist with one another. So please, please, please remember that. God doesn't call you to a purpose that he won't fund. If this has been something that God has called you to do, He is going to give you the provision for you to be able to do it. All right. So your provision follows your purpose. All right. We see this all the time in the Bible. He will provide for you. Whatever He's called you to do, He is going to equip you to be able to carry it out. All right. And when you're in alignment with what He wants you to do, doors open effortlessly. Remember that. When you're in alignment, doors will start opening for you. Things you ain't even got to ask for. Okay. They will just start opening for you. And you're not working hard. You don't have to strive. You ain't got to hustle because you're in alignment. Have you ever driven a car that's out of alignment? That's a bumpy little ride, ain't it? Like when the wheel is out of alignment, it starts, one, okay, the ride isn't as smooth. Two, when it's out of alignment, guess what it does? It starts pulling you in the wrong direction. It starts like if you take your hands off the steering wheel, you can easily veer in the wrong direction. But when you're in alignment, you don't have to have any not saying you won't have challenges, but the journey will be a lot smoother. Doors will open easily and effortlessly for you. Okay, the opportunities will start finding you, and you don't have to force anything. So remember that. Okay, just remember that. Now, if you are confused about what you need to do, then sometimes that can cause anxiety, because confusion around your calling will often lead to financial anxiety. If you don't know what lane that you're supposed to be in, everything will feel like traffic. Okay. And my pastor just preached on Sunday about staying in your lane. All right. Because when you're not in your lane, everything around you starts feeling like traffic. You know, you can cause a head-on collision when you don't stay in your lane. All right. So please, please, please remember that. And then also remember, your gifts are not random. They are revenue streams for you. All right. We talked about this. This is one of our affirmations. We talked about this in one of the affirmations where we looked at Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16, where your gifts will make room for you. Okay. So your gifts ain't just cute, Lord, for you. The Lord didn't just give you those gifts so you can look cute, so you can be cute or anything like that. These gifts that He gave to you, one, are so you can be able to bless other people, but also so you can be profitable with it when you steward them well. Okay. So remember, the bag isn't always the goal. All right. Yes, we want to get more money, but obedience is the goal. Okay. But when you're in alignment with God, He will let you have both. When you're obedient, He will also give you the bag. All right. But the bag is not the goal. So I pray that you will walk boldly in your purpose. Okay. I pray that you will exercise the gifts that God has has given you, and use them and steward them well. Okay. So that was the second point, alignment. So let me put that in the chat, make sure I don't have any comments or anything. All right. So we are good there, but we want you to know your worth and be in alignment. So hold on, my computer. Be in alignment. We choose alignment over anxiety. All right, and I'm going to put that on the screen for y'all. We choose alignment over anxiety, especially when it comes to our finances, all right? And that is the A in the acronym that I'm making for W.A.L.L when it comes to our wealth and to our money. Now, the next thing we have is the L. The first L we're going to talk about is your labor, because faith ain't lazy, all right? Oh, and I forgot to mention, make sure before you start chasing the bag, going back to the A in alignment, before you start chasing the bag, make sure that it is in alignment with you. Because we also talked about this too during the affirmation, because all money is not good money. Okay. All money is not good money. So make sure that the money that you're chasing is the money that God wants you to have. Okay. So I don't know what gift or skill you might have been sleeping on that God might have given you, but make sure you're using it and using it to be in alignment with God. Okay. All right. Now, so back to the L, the first L in our W.A.L.L acronym, that stands for labor. because faith isn't lazy, and faith without works when it comes to our finances can lead to overdraft fees. All right. All right. So we want to make sure that we are operating in faith and not collecting fees. Okay. So when it comes to that, remember, you can't affirm what you don't act on. All right. Or what you won't act on. How can you say you want overflow? How can you say you want abundance, but you scared to check your bank account? How can you claim that? How can you affirm that? Because that's what affirmations mean. You're just affirming something. You're just saying something. You're just declaring something. You're decreeing something. That's affirm. That's where the word affirmation comes from. So how can you affirm that money flows to you easily, effortlessly? That's one of our affirmations as well. How can you affirm that you're walking in overflow? How can you affirm all of these things that I'm created for wealth? How can you affirm these things and you're not even checking your bank account? Or you scared to check your bank account? You're scared to budget. You're scared to look at these bills and open up these bills, but you're affirming these things. Once again, going back to the A, you ain't in alignment. Your mouth and your actions aren't in alignment. So that's why we talked about being in alignment too. But faith ain't lazy, okay? You can't say I deserve overflow and you doing stuff that doesn't even line up with you receiving overflow, okay? So, and remember, we talked about this the other day. God responds to movement, not just motivation. So you can't say all of this stuff with your mouth and then sit still and not do nothing. You got to move. You got to act. We talked about the GPS. What was it? On day 20, we talked about the GPS. Like, God has given you an instruction, but if you ain't follow the first instruction he gave you, why you think he going to give you the next instruction? You still ain't follow the first one, okay? So God responds to your movement, not just your motivation. So you can't just be saying all this stuff and then not doing anything, all right? And that's what I mean. Faith without works. It's in the Bible. Faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith in the world. You can be saying all these different things, but if you're not moving, then it's not going to do anything, because God honors your movement. Okay. God appreciates and he responds to your movement and not just to your motivation. And the example I'm going to use is, and we talked about this too before, but in a kind of a little bit different context, is when Jesus fed the 5,000 with the fish and the 5 loaves of bread. Before he could even multiply it, somebody had to step up and give him the fish and the 5 loaves. The little boy came and gave him the fish and the 5 loaves. Somebody had to move. Because guess what? The disciples were standing around there looking stagnant, like, Jesus, what are we supposed to do? All these people, we ain't got nothing to eat. We don't have nothing to feed these people with. And the little boy moved and said, here, take my lunch. And that tells you, it don't matter how small your movement is. It doesn't matter how small the action is. God honors your movement because he put 20 on 10. We talked about this earlier today for our last day of the money affirmation. He's going to multiply it, okay? In our hands, I always say this, and this is what I think I said this when we first talked about the fish and the 5 loaves. In our hands, it just looks like 2 fish sandwiches. That's all it looks like in our hands. It looks like 2 fish sandwiches. But when we put it in Jesus's hands, in his hands, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet with to-go plates. It's enough for everybody to eat as much as they want, and enough for us to take some home because we got leftovers. But he honors your movement. So somebody had to do something for the fish and the loaves to be even multiplied. Okay, so he honors your movement. Okay, whatever you bring, no matter how small, don't worry about that. No matter how small the movement is, he'll still multiply it and he'll still help you. We talked about this next point I'm going to make as well, because sometimes you're not stuck. Oftentimes you are just stalling. All right. We talked about analysis paralysis. Like, we are doing so much research trying to figure things out. And when you do that, analysis paralysis will have you broke and it will have you burnt out. And we don't want that to be our portion. Okay, y'all, I'm forgetting to put these things up and I'm forgetting to put them on the screen. So let me go ahead. Let me put this now that I'm remembering. So the L, our first L in the acronym WALL is going to be our labor. And faith isn't lazy. You have to do some work. Okay, so let me put this in there. put faith ain't lazy. No, I'm going to put God responds to movement and not just motivation. Responds to your movement. All right, and let me remember to put it on the screen. All right, let's see. There we go. So God responds to your movement and not just to your motivation. All right. So sometimes we're not stuck. We're often just stalling, saying that we need to get more information, need to try and research more stuff, all of that. We talked about that before with one of the affirmations. So just move. No matter how small the movement is, just start moving. And you don't have to do it all at once, but you do have to get started. All right. Because one small obedient step is better than 100 well-researched excuses that you made. Okay. All right. Because we can come up with some good excuses about why we ain't do this, why we ain't do that. Okay. God honors your movement. We also talked about those people who are about to. All those people who are about to or almost. Like I was about to buy that car. I was about to buy that house, but then X, Y, and Z happened. I was about to open up my business, but then this happened, and so I changed my mind. All the people who talk about to or almost, we talked about that. Okay, so like I said, one obedient step, no matter how small, is better than 100 well-researched, well-rehearsed excuses that you might try and make. All right. So just remember that. And I want you to think about what's one small money move that you can make this month. What's one small action step you can make this month? Because what's more exhausting to you when it comes to like the money moves and that you're making? What's more exhausting? Is it more exhausting for you to create a budget, or is it more exhausting for you to deal with the repercussions of you bouncing checks? Which one is more exhausting? Okay, you pick. So when it comes to your money, your finances, you're going to have to do some stuff to make sure that it happens. All right. And here's a little tip. You can't manifest millions with microwave effort. All right. Some of us, we want these quick fixes. We want stuff done really, really soon, but you can't manifest millions with microwave effect. All right. You got to put some movement behind your mouth, and it's going to take some effort. So just remember that. And you can pray to God, Lord, just give me the strength to act, and not just to affirm things, not just to move my lips and move my mouth. Give me the strength to act and actually do the things that I need to do. All right. And the last L that we have in our acronym for W.A.L.L is going to be legacy. All right. Because legacy ain't optional, y'all. Legacy is not optional. Because we are not just building for now, we are building for next. So please, 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 please remember that you are not just building for now, you are building for next. So legacy isn't optional. Okay. We talked about this in Proverbs 13, where it says a good person leaves an inheritance. You're not just paying bills, y'all. You're paving roads for the next generation. All right. So it might look like you're just paying bills, but that's not what it's about. You're paving roads. You're creating paths. You are navigating ways for the next generation. So let me put this on the screen. All right. You're not just building for now, you're building for next. Let me put legacy isn't optional. And then we'll be almost finished. I'm going to talk about a few of the affirmations that I really enjoyed. And I really hope this has been helping you. All right. So legacy isn't optional. You're not just building for now. You are building for next. As we talk about the last and final L in our W.A.L.L acronym. All right. So I mentioned Proverbs 13, a good person leaves an inheritance. All right. So remember that. All right. And remember also, you are somebody's answered prayer and blueprint to what they need. So your kids that are coming behind you, you are giving them the blueprint. Remember that you're not just breaking down generational curses, you are also building generational confidence, all right, in these actions that you're taking and the way you steward your finances, the way you're leveling up your finances, okay? And also, we talked about how legacy isn't just about money. It's also about mindset as well. So we want to make sure we are imparting in our children, in the generations to come, as well as into our communities, that legacy is more than just wealth. It's also a mindset. And you want to teach your children how to handle your money and why you're working so hard to leave it to them so that it doesn't end with them, so that it will continue growing for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation, okay? That's what it means to create generational wealth. We don't want it to end with us. We don't want it to end with the next generation. We want it to keep growing, okay? And when you are creating a legacy, you're also creating a spiritual and a financial inheritance, because we want to pass down tools to our children and not just trauma. All right. We don't want to pass down, okay, a barely getting by or scraping to get by. We want to give them the tools that they need to be able to succeed financially, and not only to succeed, to be able to grow and help other people. So we want to pass down tools, not just trauma, to them so that they can succeed in their finances. And here's the thing. Here's the thing I want you to remember. Your ceiling, like whatever height that you hit when it comes to your money and to your finances, whatever ceiling that you hit for your children, that should be their floor. Like they should not have to start all the way back at zero or start back where you started from. Your ceiling should be your children's floor, okay? When it comes to wealth, when it comes to money. So you're not just hustling. You're not just working just for you. You're hustling so your grandbabies, your children, all of them, your great grandbabies, they can reap the benefits of all the hard work that you have put in, okay? And they don't have to recover from what you may have lacked. That's what we're trying to create. That's what we're trying to grow. So y'all can let me know, who are you building for? Or you can start thinking about that. Who are you building for? What generational legacy are you trying to leave, and for who? For who? Start thinking about that when you're making some of these money decisions. Start thinking about that when you're about to blow your money on, some retail therapy or something, or spending frivolously. Ask yourself, am I setting the next generation up for success with this particular purpose? All right. And also, I want you to start thinking, what's one thing you can leave behind that money can't buy? What is one thing that you can leave behind that money can't buy? Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's freedom, financial freedom. Okay. What's something that you want to leave behind that money can't buy? Okay. Start thinking about that. That's what I want you to start doing with your finances. And also, something else I want you to think about, if you looked at your financial situation today, if you looked at all the things that you're doing with your money today, and your children were to inherit your habits, what kind of in regards to your money, what kind of future are you funding? Just think about that. Think about that. Considering your financial situation now, if your children inherited your habits, what would that look like for their financial situation? If they couldn't inherit any money from you, let's say you don't even have any money to give, but even if you did, let's say along with the money, they also inherited your habits. What would their financial situation look like? If they got the money and they got the habits, would they still have the money based off of the habits that you have today? We really got to start looking and thinking for the future, all right? And I really want you to remember, your ceiling should become the floor that your children stand on when it comes to your finances. The ceiling that you've hit in your money goals, in your finances, that should be the floor. That should be the bare minimum that your children stand on. So you really want to think about, if they inherited your habits, would they still be able to have the money today? if they inherited your habits, if you gave them $1 million, if you were able to pass on to your children $1 million, and with the money habits you have today, your children also inherited those habits, would they still be able to have that $1 million for generations to come? Would they be able to grow the $1 million into something more based off of the habits that you have? All right. So if you want a strong wall around your wealth, you need to check your worth. You need to stay in alignment. You need to put in the labor, and you need to protect your legacy, because you were born to build, and you want to leave your current situation better than how you found it. And that's what happens when you create a legacy. So I want you to have a strong wall. That's what I'm going to put in the chat. When it comes to your finances, build a strong wall for your finances. And we just went over what wall means. The W in W.A.L.L stands for wealth. The A in W.A.L.L stands for alignment. The first L stands for labor, and the last L stands for legacy. So build a strong wall when it comes to your wealth. And I'm going to put that on the screen too. All right, so there we go. And I don't see any comments. All right, so that's what I had. Let's talk about really quickly. Let me make sure. Let me look at all my notes. I'm going to skip over some stuff because, yeah, I went so long this morning. I was not planning on going that long. So I'm going to skip over some stuff here. And we are going to just talk about a few of the affirmations that kind of resonated with me, so that y'all can see some of the affirmations that we covered. Please feel free to watch the replay of the 21-day Money Affirmation Challenge. I promise you, not only will you be blessed by it, your finances are going to change. If you actually listen and put into practice some of the things that we speak about, your finances will change. I was surprised at the way, even for myself, how I'm just looking and viewing money different, as well as my money decisions different. It has definitely helped me in more ways than I thought or could have imagined it would do so. All right. So one of the affirmations that I have that is powerful and impactful is, I am worthy of wealth and abundance. Here we go again. We talking about that worth, because that was some of the themes of our money affirmation challenge, is our worth. So one of the affirmations is, I am worthy of wealth and abundance. So I'm going to put this up in the chat. I am worthy of wealth and abundance. I want to say that was our day one of our money affirmation challenge. So that was a really good one there. And just like we talked about just a few moments ago, your worth is not tied to your work ethic or your income level. All right. We talked about that, knowing your worth and knowing that it is not tied to your wallet. And also remember, scarcity mindsets are inherited lies. So we talked about, when I was talking about legacy, what habits are you passing down to your children? What money lies are you instilling in them? Are you instilling in them a scarcity mindset? So, because more things are caught than taught. So they're going to pick up on the ways that you handle money. They're going to pick up on the ways that you spend, pick up on the ways that you manage your money. So scarcity mindsets are inherited lies, and you don't have to keep them, and you don't have to continue to pass them on to your children. So check your money habits to make sure you're not passing on scarcity mindsets to them. And also, once you start getting your wealth, once you start walking in abundance and start walking in wealth, don't shrink to make others more comfortable. Don't shrink. If you desire more, that's okay, because we are worthy of wealth and abundance. We were created, we were made to create wealth, okay? So don't start shrinking just because God is starting to bless you and you're doing better in your finances and doing better in your money. Don't start shrinking. Walk boldly in it. Also, be a blessing to someone else. Pass on the knowledge that you've gained so that other people can also be blessed and start walking in abundance and start growing their finances as well, okay? And one of the scriptures was Psalm 139:14. fearfully and wonderfully made. So we already talked about that before. The second affirmation that we did was my gifts make room for me and bring me prosperity. Okay. And your gifts don't need a title for you to operate in them. Sometimes, y'all, and we talked about this during that affirmation. Sometimes, y'all waiting for permission or for y'all asking for permission to even operate in your gifts. Your gifts make room for you. That means you ain't gotta ask. They gonna make room for you, okay? Your gifts make room for you and they will bring you prosperity. So earlier this evening, I asked you, what gifts are you sleeping on? What gifts are you sleeping on that you can possibly monetize? Because when they say your gifts make room for you, your gifts can make room for you in the fact that people can receive them, in the fact that people can enjoy them, but your gifts make room for you when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your wallet. It can give you room for financial freedom. It makes room for you and it can bring you prosperity. So opportunity is waiting on you. You just got to show up with your gift. So I don't know what it is you might be sleeping on, okay? And then also, when you steward faithfully, then you can also reap the prosperity, okay? And that was my gifts bring me before a great man. That was from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16, okay? So let me put that affirmation up on the screen. My gifts make room for me and bring me prosperity. I want y'all to remember that when you're thinking about, and I want you to start recognizing what gifts you have. Because some of us, like I said, some of y'all don't consider some of the things that God has blessed you with as gifts, but they really are gifts. So start thinking about some of the gifts that you have. My gifts make room for me and bring me prosperity and bring prosperity and bring prosperity. So let me put that on the screen for y'all, and then we're going to get into the third affirmation. Another affirmation that I enjoyed. So this next one, it says, I attract opportunities that align with my purpose. So we talked about alignment, how alignment is very, very important, because when we're not in alignment, we can easily get pulled into the wrong direction, all right, when we're not in alignment. And I talked about that too when I mentioned, like, when your car is out of alignment, it will pull in the wrong direction. It doesn't give you a smooth ride. You don't have a smooth journey. So you need to stay in alignment. So I attract opportunities that align with my purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you need to start praying about it so that you can get some revelation about what your purpose is. And the reason why we want to be intentional about saying I attract opportunities that align with my purpose is because not every blessing is from God, okay? Discernment is essential, all right? I want to say, we talked about this either this morning or the other day, is we have to start determining what's a good decision versus a God decision. Because as you start growing in your faith and growing in what God will have you to do, a lot of times you're presented with opportunities that both of them will look good, or all of them will look good, but you have to determine which one is good versus which one is God. Because not every blessing is from God. Not every blessing is in alignment with your purpose. All right. So we want to attract opportunities that align with your purpose. Okay. Y'all, I keep forgetting. Let me put this one up on the screen. I attract opportunities that align with my purpose. And then I just have, we only have like 2 more to do. And then I'm wrapping it up, y'all. I attract opportunities that align with my purpose. And also, when you do that and when you speak that over yourself, you stop chasing everything. All right. Alignment attracts the right things. All right. So we talked about staying in your lane. when you're not in alignment, you start deviating and going all over the place. That's how you become distracted. Okay. But when you know what your purpose is, you are going to make sure that it is in alignment with your purpose and that it's the right thing for you. And then that's when you stop chasing after any and every opportunity. You can't go any and everywhere. And just like you can, there's plenty, I'll use myself as an example. There are plenty of things that I can do right now that could make me money. There's plenty of things I could do. I could think of about 4 of them right now. Okay. That doesn't mean that I'm supposed to do all four of those things. I have to make sure that I find the one thing that I need to do, or the thing or things that I need to do that are in alignment with my purpose. Okay. So that I am not chasing everything. And that's what I mean by determining what's good and what's God. Okay. I could possibly make good money, but is it God money? Is it money that is supposed to help me become better? Is it money that is supposed to help me be in alignment with my purpose? Is it money that is going to help glorify God in the things that He wants me to do? So that's what we have to start thinking about, because you will find, especially since we're talking about money, there are various ways that you can possibly get money. There are various things you can do to start making money, but it's not just about chasing the bag. When you chase the bag, well, you don't have to chase the bag if it's in alignment, but when it's in alignment, it's going to multiply. It's going to bring you more money than you can ever imagine when it's in alignment, because it's the right thing for you to do. Going back to that car analogy, when your car is in alignment, it drives so much smoother. So much smoother. So it makes things a lot easier for you. Okay. So you're not distracted in chasing everything. And to help you kind of determine if things are in alignment, if it brings you peace, then it's probably in alignment with your purpose. All right. If it's causing chaos, then that's probably a red flag. All right. That is probably a red flag. But if you have peace about it, then that's probably what is in alignment for you. All right. Um, and the fourth scripture, not scripture, y'all. I've been calling them scriptures sometimes. The fourth affirmation that I'm going to talk about is that wealth flows to me easily and consistently. All right. Easy means, now, please do not confuse easy with laziness. All right. There is a difference. I'm not telling you to be lazy, but it flows to you easily. That is going back to what I was saying about alignment. When it's in alignment, it just flows a whole lot smoother. That doesn't mean you be lazy and do nothing and think money is supposed to come to you. That is not what I'm saying. All right. But wealth flows to you easily because it's in divine rhythm, and it's like a divine assignment for you. Okay. So remember that. Let me put that one up there too. Oh, y'all, I keep forgetting to click the doggone thing. So wealth flows to me easily and consistently. But let me put that one in. Wealth flows to me easily and consistently. And remember, we have to make sure that we are not blocking our own blessings. What do I mean by when I say you're not blocking your own blessings? Because those old money mindsets, those old money beliefs that you might have, those lies that you have come up with about your money, those kinds of things will block your blessings. So that's why we talked about, even before we did the money affirmations, about making sure you shift your mindset, you shift your way of thinking, because if you want to level up your money, you also need to level up your mind and your way of thinking. So any old beliefs, negative beliefs, those scarcity mindset things about struggle, these will block your blessing. And when you have confidence, that invites you into consistent flow and consistent overflow. But you have to speak confidently and act confidently when it comes to that. All right. And the last and final affirmation that I have is, I am anointed to create wealth. All right. So being successful and being spiritual, they are not mutually exclusive. You can do both. All right. You are anointed. God has anointed you to be able to create wealth, because the scripture says God gives the power to get wealth. Okay. He gives you the power to get wealth. So you are called to build. You are called to multiply. It's in the scripture. Okay. You are called to build wealth. And now for this one, I want to say it's Deuteronomy 8 and 18. I might have misquoted that one though, but I want to say it's Deuteronomy 8 and 18. We were created to get wealth. So please, please, please remember that. Let me put that final affirmation in. I am anointed to create wealth. And y'all can also let me know. Let's see. All right. Y'all can also let me know, out of all the affirmations that we did, for the 21 Money Day Affirmation Challenge. Let me know which one resonated with you the most, which one hit your spirit the most, which one that's what I should be doing. That's the one that I need to act upon. Let me know which one kind of resonated with you. Because we do need to start doing some stuff differently when it comes to our money, when it comes to our finances. Every affirmation, I gave you a mini action step for you to take so that you can start making changes in your money and in your finances. I also shared this morning as we were wrapping up our final day that even me, myself, I am going back and looking at all of the affirmations that I have created. So I'm going back through all of my notes, looking at all the affirmations I created and seeing how can I put that affirmation into action this week. So for 21 weeks, I'm going to be trying to put each of those affirmations one by one into place. Because like I said, I don't want to just say it with my mouth. I want to make sure that it lines up with my actions, that I'm making movement. I'm making money moves when it comes to these affirmations and what I'm declaring about my finances. So check it out. Check out all the older videos and see what steps you need to take, which one of those action steps, the money moves that you need to make in order to give yourself some changes in your finances so you can start operating in abundance, so you can start walking in abundance. And no matter where you are in this journey, like even if tonight is your first time even hearing about the 21 Money Day Affirmation Challenge, it's okay. Because when it comes to your finances, you are not behind, okay? You're just walking into you're starting to walk into the season where you are going to steward well the things that God has given you. So you are not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're hearing the things when you're supposed to hear it, but you need to make sure that you're operating how God has already called you to operate, okay? Now, I will be doing another challenge next, or I don't even know if it's called a challenge, but I will have something else going on next month. It will not be 21 days because this is a lot on your girl, but I am going to have more stuff for you. I'm also going to have, I'm going to continue to do the Tipsy Tuesdays. And if I'm feeling up to it, because this 21-day money affirmation challenge has been a lot. If I'm feeling up to it, I'm probably going to go live on Saturday and give you guys a side hustle Saturday, because it has been a while since I have done one of those for you guys. So I'm going to try and get out a side hustle Saturday. This month has just been very, 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 very busy, but I do have a little bit of time this Saturday where I could possibly squeeze in a side hustle Saturday. Okay. So yeah, I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone levels up their money, levels up their finances, and can utilize these affirmations that I have shared with you guys. So until next time, take care, guys.